Barakata Yahweh, Barakata Yahushai, Bayishim, Barakah Kudash, Barakathum. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, glory, and infinite honors to Yahweh, Bayishim, Yahushai. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who ruled and teach well. And peace and salutations to Ya'akim out there pushing this word in truth and sincerity to the four corners of the globe. May you brothers endure until the end. This is the brother Raya with another video, and I'll be profiling this clip from a comedian named Louis C.K. titled, "Time Travel is Exclusively a So-Called White or Edomite Privilege." And in this clip, this comedian makes a very poignant point when he talks about what's going to happen to so-called white people in the future. Nothing good. These other races of people are going to hold your head down and really give that work to you, which is exactly what's going to happen. The true children of Israel, who are the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, the people you Edomites look at as the scum of the earth, are going to get their hands on you in the kingdom of heaven and do double unto you as you've done unto us. And there's nothing you can do about it, because everything that's been said by Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai in these scriptures will come to pass. As it says in Isaiah 55 verse 11, "So shall my word be that goeth forth out of my mouth. It shall not return unto me void."
Sorry I'm being so negative. I'm a bummer. I don't know. I shouldn't be. I'm a very, lucky guy. I got a lot going for me. I'm healthy. I'm relatively young. I'm white, which thank God for that shit, boy. That is a huge leg up. Are you kidding me? Oh, God, I love being white. I really do. Seriously, if you're not white, you're missing out, because this shit is thoroughly good.
An Edomite.
But let me be clear, by the way. I'm not saying that white people are better. I'm saying that being white is clearly better. Who could even argue? If it was an option, I would re-up every year. Oh, yeah, I'll take white again. Absolutely. I've been enjoying that. I'm going to stick with white. Thank you.
You Edomites like to say that there's no racism out there and all these other races of people, mainly these Israelites, are just paranoid. But you know in your spirit that you've got a leg up over these people and that you do oppress them every chance you get. This guy's being a comedian about it, but he's really giving a true sentiment about it, the way things are out here.
Here's how great it is to be white. I could get in a time machine and go to any time, and it would be fucking awesome when I get there. That is exclusively a white privilege. Black people can't fuck with time machines. A black guy in a time machine is like, "Hey, anything before 1980? No, thank you. I don't want to go." But I can go to any time. The year 2? I don't even know what's happening then. But I know when I get there, welcome, we have a table right here for you, sir. Thank you. No, it's lovely here in the year 2. I can go to any time. In the past. I don't want to go to the future and find out what happens. So
this part right here, pay close attention.
I don't want to go to the future and find out what happens to white people, because we're going to pay hard for this shit. You got to know that. We're not going to just fall from number 1 to 2. They're going to hold us down and fuck us in the ass forever. And we totally deserve it. But for go to any time. In the past. I don't want to go to the future and find out what happens to white people, because we're going to pay hard for this shit. You got to know that. We're not going to just fall from number 1 to 2. They're going to hold us down and fuck us in the ass forever. And we totally deserve it. But for now,
And we totally deserve it, which you do. And that's exactly what's going to happen. A recompense from Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai. This is Galatians 6 verse 7. "Be not deceived, the Most High is not mocked. For whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap." When you go around raping, robbing, and murdering everybody, but chiefly the apple of the Most High's eye, the children of Israel, you're going to get exactly what's coming to you, a violent, vicious recompense. 2 Thessalonians 1 verse 6, "Seeing it is a righteous thing with the Most High to recompense tribulation to them that trouble you Israelites, because every book in the Bible, from the Old Testament to the New Testament, is only written to the children of Israel, not you heathen nations. The Gentiles talked about in the New Testament are Israelites, not heathen Gentiles. And since we're living in the last seconds of these last days, we can start to see this recompense befall you Edomites, and it's a very beautiful sight to behold. This is Lamentations 4, verse 21 to 22. Rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom, you so-called Caucasians, that dwellest in the land of Uz. The cup also shall pass through unto thee, the cup of torments. Deuteronomy 30, verse 7. All these curses will I put upon thine enemies. The curses of Deuteronomy 28 that befell the Israelites from going off from their power, Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai. These curses are starting to befall you, all you heathens, but chiefly you Edomites. Thou shalt be drunken and shalt make thyself naked. The punishment of thine iniquity is accomplished, O daughter of Zion. You so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, as well as the Israelite foreigners who will look like these heathen nations, because you will have some Israelites that look like Edomites. But right now it's talking about the elect who have come back to their power, Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai, and are doing whatever they can to get back into the good graces of their power. Our iniquity is just about finished, because Yahweh willing, you Akim and myself are of that number. We're going to be the first fruits in the kingdom, putting this world back in order and putting our foot sideways in the ass of these heathens. You 2/3, because you want to live like these heathens, are going to take part in the same judgment that's going to befall these heathens at the first, but then you're going to be reborn in the kingdom righteous. He will no more carry thee away into captivity. He will visit thine iniquity, O daughter of Edom. He will discover thy sins. It is a righteous thing to the Most High to recompense those that afflict you. And we're seeing the beginning stages of it right now. All these Edomite countries around the world are starting to collapse. Your economies are on the verge of collapse. Your birth rates are declining, especially in the United States of America, which is known as Babylon the Great. These Edomites are having a hard go at things. They're losing their jobs. They're losing their families. And they're losing that one thing that gave them privilege in society, that so-called white skin. So what are they doing? They're turning to opioids, alcoholism, and committing suicide. The Edomite woman is the biggest skeezer on the face of the earth. The list goes on. And all that's going to culminate in all these Edomite nations across the planet getting hit by nuclear-tipped ICBMs. Every Edomite in America is going to be eradicated, and to you Edomites in these other countries that survive, the elect are going to come to your countries and slap chains on you so you can serve that first 1,000 years of hardcore bondage and slavery. This is Revelation 13, verse 9 through 10. If any man have an ear, let him hear. And this is in the book of Revelation, the last book of the New Testament. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. And whenever people think about slavery, what's the first thing that comes to their mind? The transatlantic slave trade, when you Edomites took the so-called Negroes, or the tribe of Judah, Benjamin, and Levi of the southern kingdom into slavery in the Americas. And also you enslaved the so-called Latinos and Native Americans of the northern kingdom in the Americas, and also brought some of them across the Atlantic into Europe. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. All the Israelites you killed during slavery in the past, all the way up until today, putting Planned Parenthoods in our neighborhoods to advocate for our women getting abortion, giving our people poisonous food and water to consume, and then these cops just shooting our people down dead in the streets. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints, the 144,000, and the rest of the righteous 1/3, the elect, who are patiently waiting for this time to come, not getting weak and keeping strong in the faith in Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai, and showing our works as well, so we can stay of that elect number. Isaiah 60, verse 14, the sons also of them that afflicted thee shall come bending unto thee. Once we're in the kingdom and we have you Edomites in slavery, and they that despise thee shall bow themselves down at the soles of thy feet. The head, which was the tail, is going to become the head again. And the tail, which has become the head, you Edomites being on the top of everything, are going to go back to your natural position, being the tail, being subservient to us, which is a part of the curses in Deuteronomy 28. and they shall call thee the city of Yahweh, the Zion of the Holy One of Israel. There's going to be no more calling the children of Israel Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, African Americans, Mexicans, Indians, etc., etc. You're going to refer to us by our rightful title, the city of Yahweh, the Zion of the Holy One of Israel, the princes of the power, Yasharallah. This is Ezekiel 25, verse 12 through 14. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, because that Edom hath dealt against the house of Judah by taking vengeance, the so-called Negroes of the southern kingdom, Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. And while you Edomites have afflicted all 12 tribes, you've especially had a hard-on towards Judah. Not only did Yahushua HaMashiach, whom the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, spring forth from Judah, but you Edomites have been wroth with the southern kingdom ever since we took the Roman Empire from you, created the Byzantine Empire, and ruled Europe during the Dark Ages. That's why when you came into the little season of your final rulership beginning with the Renaissance, you've done everything you could to try to keep Israel, especially Judah, from getting back on top. But as you can clearly see, in the end it was all futile, and hath greatly offended and revenged himself upon them with slavery in the past, through the Reconstruction era, to Jim Crow and the civil rights, all the way up until today. And even in the future with Jacob's trouble, when these race wars kick off, you Edomites are going to put a lot of Israelites to death, continually revenging yourself upon them until Yahushua returns to put the final nail in the coffin of your rulership. Therefore, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, I will also stretch out mine hand upon Edom, and will cut off man and beast from it, and I will make it desolate from Teman, and they of Dedan shall fall by the sword, when those nuclear missiles are shot to the ends of the earth and hit wherever you Edomites dwell. And again, all Edomites in America will be taken out. And then the fun really begins. And I will lay my vengeance upon Edom by the hand of my people Israel, beginning with the elect, and they shall do in Edom according to mine anger and according to my fury. Back in Revelation 13, verse 10, he that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. You Edomites that survived that nuclear destruction are going to be the first fruits of slavery in the kingdom of heaven, especially the elites of you Edomites, like the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, the Gettys, the DuPonts, you name it. And then your children are going to be slaves, and your children's children are going to be slaves. And we're going to do double unto you as you did unto us. But of course, in righteousness, we're not going to sodomize you or rape your wife or children in front of you. We're not freaks and degenerates. And they shall know my vengeance, saith the Lord Yahweh. After that first 1,000 years, we're going to round up all you Edomites and cleanse you from this earth with fire. There will not be one Edomite remaining, and you Edomites are only going to be remembered as a bad dream, a boogeyman that parents tell their children to keep them from misbehaving. And now I'm going to close it out in the book of Obadiah. I'm going to start at verse 1. The vision of Obadiah. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh concerning Edom, the man of the hour. We have heard a rumor from Yahweh, and an ambassador is sent among the heathen, and the ambassadors have been sent, the men of the Lord, the prophets of the Most High, chiefly GMS or Great Millstone, going out there on the highways and byways preaching this word, as well as putting up video epistles like this to tell you Edomites what your judgment is going to be, as well as you other heathen nations and you hard-headed 2/3 who refuse to come back to your power. Now I'm going to jump down to verse 10. For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, constantly revenging yourselves of Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever. Jump down to verse 15. For the day of Yahweh is near upon all the heathen, and the day of Yahweh is near. If you have that spiritual eye salve, you can clearly see that all these end times prophecies are beginning to come to their fulfillment. These wars and rumors of wars, nations rising against nations, with these racial tensions building up, kingdom against kingdom, with these major powers going against each other, such as the U.S. against Russia, China against the U.S., the state of Israel against Iran, Pakistan against India, etc., etc. There are earthquakes in diverse places, signs and wonders in the heaven, and ultimately, you heathen nations being gathered down into the Middle East for that battle in the valley of Jehoshaphat. And Jehoshaphat means Yahweh Shaphat. And Yahweh Shaphat means Yahweh's judgment. And Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai is gathering you heathen nations down there to judge you for touching the apple of his eye, the children of Israel. As thou hast done, it shall be done unto thee. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. Thy reward shall return upon thine own head. For as ye have drunk upon my holy mountain, so shall all the heathen drink continually. Yeah, they shall drink, and they shall swallow down. You heathen nations are going to drink that cup down to the dregs, and they shall be as though they had not been. But upon Mount Zion shall be deliverance, and there shall be holiness, and the house of Jacob shall possess their possessions. We're going to get the first fruits of all you heathens as goods, your gold and your silver, your choicest animals, your commodities, and of course your daughters. In the house of Jacob, the southern kingdom, or the so-called Negroes, shall be a fire. In the house of Joseph, a flame. The northern kingdom, or the so-called Latinos and Native Americans, all 12 tribes will be back together in the kingdom of heaven, judging righteously, because we're going to have the laws, statutes, and commandments in our inward parts, and we're never going to go off again. In the house of Esau for stubble, and they shall kindle in them and devour them, and there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for Yahweh hath spoken it. Again, after that first 1,000 years of hardcore bondage and slavery, we're going to gather up all you Edomites and cleanse you with fire from the face of the earth, and the entire planet will finally know peace. So with this video, I hope you sincere Akim were edified. Just keep strong and keep pushing this word. Now's not the time to be getting weak in the faith, especially when we can see the finish line right before our eyes. You don't want to give up at the very end and be reborn in the kingdom as a 2/3 with his head down, knowing that he gave up his chance at salvation for the cares of this world, women, a job, money, drugs, you name it. And as always, I'm going to say Ababa Bol, Kwam Yasharala. Till next time, Shalom.
I can go to any time. In the past, I don't want to go to the future and find out what happens to white people because we're going to pay hard for this shit. You got to know that.